Time Sink is the weekly podcast to let you know what's worth sinking your time into. Head to timesinkpod.com for more information like a rating scale, some show notes, a few social media links, a few videos, and there's some more stuff too. I gotta call. No, I don't gotta call. I gotta call my mother. What is there, some sort of Godzilla monster around here?
Welcome to Time Sink, the weekly podcast where we ask if it's worth your time. From TV, movies, video games, and more. We rate content not on its quality, but if it's worth sinking your limited free time into on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 put it at the top of your list, 1 it's not worth your time. I'm your host and pop culture super junkie Sauce. Hello. And this week I am joined by a man who I want to ask a question right on the spot. Bradley, when are you going to give me my Spider-Man PS4 games back?
Oh, you were expecting those back? Oh no. I gotta call my lawyer. You know what? I don't gotta call my lawyer. I gotta call my mother. I just maybe she'll give you her PS4 games back. Hi, I'm Brad. By the way, if you didn't get that part, what are we doing? Some sort of podcast here? Is that what you boys do? Ow.
We got a great episode for you guys this week. This week, we're going to talk about Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Shang-Chi.
I said Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. No. You don't. You're not around. I know you're not around like the correct usage of the vowels that they use over in Asia. So it's Shang-Chi.
Hold on.
Shang-Chi.
Are you saying that you are?
I'm literally fucking with you.
Damn it. I thought it was going to get you so good.
No. I am figuratively fucking with you because literally fucking you would be something else to talk about.
I got to call my lawyer.
Something else we need to talk about with our lawyers.
Only Murders in the Building. And What We Do in the Shadows Season 3 and Brooklyn Nine-Nine Season 8. So stick around because we got a great episode.
Shang-Chi. Simu.
All right, let's get right into it. Shang-Chi, which I'm pretty positive I said correctly.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
What'd you think, Brad? Let's start with you.
Is that even?
And then we'll get to the other people here. We'll start with you, then we'll go around the table, and then we'll get to me.
Yep. Is it even a real question? Like, we didn't see it together, but I rushed out of work Thursday night to make a 10:10 showing, and watched a movie like a young boy once watching a Jackie Chan film. I mean, I love kung fu movies. I grew up on kung fu, like movies like Jackie Chan and Jet Li, or my dad's favorite, Steven Seagal. You know, all the great kung fu artists.
oh yeah.
Well, you never saw Under Siege, man? A hooker gave a Navy salute at the end of the movie.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to see it now.
Steven Seagal movies are the movies like my dad would watch falling asleep on the couch, and you'd like try to change it, and he'd be like, I'm watching that. So you'd have to watch Under Siege 7 while your father was asleep, and you were just at the old days of one TV and no cell phone. Kids got it so easy.
They don't understand.
They don't get it. They have to watch one. They weren't in one TV household. I've seen Spice World so many times. It's depressing for me.
That I know for a fact is by choice.
It is not. It is not by choice. Neither were my multiple viewings of Grease, or the worst Grease, Grease 2, or the even worse Grease, Cry Baby. Those are terrible movies. Just awful.
Anyway.
But we're getting off track. Shang-Chi.
Yeah, my bad.
Shang-Chi, yeah, it was your fault. Shang-Chi was incredible, Frank. Sauce, whatever you want me to call you. I don't know. Don't put your
Stop
name out
doxing
there.
me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if there are enough good things I could say about it. It was an incredible roller coaster the whole way through. We had really grounded characters, well done acting, action sequences that were top notch, and something we don't get in a lot of Marvel movies that was great, an amazing villain. And can we even say he was the true villain? Because he had the biggest hero's journey or overall character arc of the entire movie in Wenwu. He was absolutely incredible.
Okay, so I just want to say that if you don't want any spoilers, skip to the next section because I'm gonna try not to spoil anything, but I'm positive Brad will.
Yeah,
Second,
I'm doing it. Spoiled. Deal with it. Deal with
I'm
it.
in the middle of it.
Deal with it.
You said that Marvel movies don't have a lot of great villains, but
Traditionally.
I disagree.
Traditionally.
Most of the movies have. Honestly, every movie, the making or breaking of it really is if it has a good antagonist, of which Marvel movies usually do. I would say the majority of the time they do.
Okay.
Apparently that got to me, and I had to say something.
Apparently that's
But this
another
one
discussion we could have.
Is one in top 3 villains of all Marvel movies. For sure.
right up there with Thanos on how well the character was portrayed, written, arced throughout the whole movie. Incredible storytelling. And the performances we got from all of the lead actors and the tertiary characters was terrific. I mean, the friendship between Awkwafina's character and Simu's character is one of my favorites in the Marvel Universe. Right up there with Scott Lang's Ant-Man and the Jimmy Woo, the FBI guy. Right up there with those two.
How did you do that? It's an interesting... Yeah, that's a good point. They do have an awesome relationship. It's very laid back and real.
Yeah,
but
real.
There's a crazy juxtaposition because the things that he can do, and he's like even his dad says, I'm pretty sure in the trailer, like no one can kill you because he's so good at fighting. But he's just a normal dude. Like every other Avenger is like some big over the top character. He's just like a normal everyday dude.
But
besides his kung fu training,
I would say, and not wanting to overly spoil the movie, if he had continued on the path that his father had put him on, then he might not have been the same grounded individual he became.
True. But I'm actually really surprised on how little dialogue he had as the main character the whole movie. Honestly, there's not that much dialogue in the I don't know. Like, it's developing him character-wise, it's all unspoken. Because he really doesn't say... He never really talks to his dad a lot. Even to Katie, like, the only time he really talks to her is cracking jokes or, like, at one point reveals some of his backstory, you know?
I mean, but yeah, isn't that also a part of his character to be as guarded as he is because of his early informative years with his father and not wanting to remind himself of that person that he was and that he almost became? So I thought it fit really well with his character to be somebody that listened and just reacted on his, on his gut instinct and stuff a lot rather than having to talk through all his problems with people. We aren't here for therapy. We're here for Kung Fu. I know Kung Fu.
Yeah, Awkwafina is great too. I like her. I just don't understand her voice. Like, how is it so raspy? But I like it.
I mean, that's the voice that science gave her. That's all. Okay. I don't have a follow up to that.
It's just such a unique voice. I love her gruff, gristly voice. It just seems so out of place for her, like, image.
Sure. I mean, it definitely worked really well when she was doing her Danny DeVito impression.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it worked really well for that. I mean, it makes her feel like a real person just to be able to hear in her own voice, too, And she's always been really funny. I think she's got great comedic timing. And
God damn it.
So do I. But yeah, I honestly thought she was going to be one of the more like higher potentially lacking performances, and I was happily surprised that she was great throughout the entirety of the film. Even her little moments of like, I not wanting to spoil moments, but her good moments were just like so good. And coming from an action sequence standpoint, like I know they lost their main stunt coordinator towards the ending of the film, of the editing sessions and stuff like that. So there was a little tribute to him at the end of the movie. But man, their team put on such a good job of really like honing in on kung fu movies that people like me might have grown up on. Bruce Lee movies, Jackie Chan. You saw all different styles of camera work, artwork, choreography. It was really, really cool to see on that big scale Marvel level to still really focus on the idea that this was a kung fu movie. And it crushed it in that regard.
100%. The action was top notch. Like, it doesn't get much better, both budget wise, CGI wise, and choreography wise. But didn't just rely on that. Like, yeah, that was a key element of it, but it definitely, the story alone is, even if the action wasn't that great, the story was so good. Like the story of the like redemption of his dad, and like if he does or will he or won't he, or how he, I don't want to spoil it, but it's so good. The family theme of the movie is great, and the fact that Marvel can do whatever they want now, the fact that they've established through their other show like WandaVision and through the What If series and Doctor Strange that, you know, and Endgame, all these other dimensions exist, and Loki, like they really ramping up like the multiverse. So the fact that they can pull anything from anywhere, from any dimension, and the mass general audience is just gonna be like, yeah, we're in. That makes sense. Like, we get it. You don't have to hold their hand anymore. Like, imagine, you know, us 10 years ago trying to sell this to the general audience, right? Like, we're at a point now where Marvel can do whatever they want, and it's going to be cool. And they can take a third-tier comic book character and make it into what is, on Rotten Tomatoes, the highest-rated user score of any superhero movie.
What always catches me by surprise about how well Marvel Studios does in their movies is how good a job they can do of entertaining us with the story of the moment that they're giving us, while simultaneously leaving breadcrumbs and setting up multiple things for you to think about what they're trying to do in the future. Just little things that enhance the story that we're seeing, but also give major implications to what they could try to do in the future. They do such a good job of doing both at the same time, and I think it's so impressive. Incredible to me.
Yeah, love it. They're the best. Every time I go to see a Marvel movie, I think, first off, you see that opening Marvel credits and the music starts, and it's that same scrolling comic book pages, or it used to be, right?
Now it's
and
the
you would get
MCU
excited.
one.
Now it's the MCU showing scenes from different movies, and every scene from every movie is something huge or epic or emotional. And every time I see it, I just think, like, you know, this is just Marvel saying, like, fuck you, DC. Like, even just in our opening intro of our name, like, here are all these moments throughout the movies that everyone loves, and DC doesn't have anything on them.
I think it's pretty telling that you take it that way. When they probably don't even think about DC, and you're just like, yeah, fuck you, DC, fuck you.
I know, you're right. But, like, it's just like it's like the resume at the beginning of the movie, right? It's like their proof of concept, like, here's what we've done, and you love all this shit, and here's some more. So obviously it's a 5 out of 5.
You won't believe what happens next.
Shut up. And they prove that people are still going to the theaters to see it. People still want to go to the theaters. If you haven't yet, you need to get out and go see it in the theater. I don't think you necessarily need to see it in the biggest screen, but definitely go out and see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's for sure a 5. Like, that's the next thing you should watch if you haven't watched it. And if that makes you have to go to the theater to watch it, go take some time with your loved ones and enjoy a nice, refreshing Coca-Cola and watch Shang-Chi.
They always hit you with that, like, obviously the ad is designed to make you want a Coca-Cola, and they do a good job. It looks very refreshing and delicious, but they do it
solid cuke
right before it's the last thing you see before the movie starts. It's like, what? I want a Coca-Cola now, but I'm not going to leave. You know, it's poor planning.
That's why they should also advertise their premium memberships where they deliver stuff right to your seat.
Yeah. Oh, it's top notch. You got to do it. It's the best. It's the best.
I love service. I just love to be serviced.
Yeah. So the movie's it's funny too. It's got heart. It's got comedy. It's got action. It's got great story, great acting, great music, great visuals. It's got everything you want. It's amazing.
And more.
But where
Maybe
would you put where would you put this in the ranking of all the Marvel movies?
Ooh, I mean, there's so many movies to consider. I mean, I think it's definitely in the top 5 to 10 range, probably, is where I'd put it.
Yeah.
Confidently.
I would for sure.
I'd have to think about where the list went in that area, but it confidently could tell you it's somewhere in top 10.
Like, it's hard to compete with something like Infinity War and Endgame because that's a culmination, right? But out of origin stories, it's in the top 5. It could possibly be top 3.
Straight Origins first movie, I think it's probably top 3.
Yeah, because you got Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Guardians.
Ant-Man, Guardians, Thor.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, those are probably the top 3, though.
I mean, I'm sure everybody would debate the heck out of that, of where those go. So top 3 to 5 is where I'd put it confidently.
I think I just said my top 3. That's it. Iron Man.
You actually named like 4 Guardians. Or 5, but whatever.
Iron Man, Shang-Chi, Guardians. I think Black Panther's 3 up there, and Spider-Man. Shit, you're right, I did. Anyway, definitely check out Shang-Chi.
Gotta see it. Stop, listening to us, go see it, and then come back and listen to it so we can talk about more spoilers, please. God, please, just let us talk about it. Let the boy watch your house. Let the boy talk about the movie.
What?
It's a Saturday Night Live reference. Come on, man, stick with it.
Okay, okay. You can't get mad at me for not knowing that one.
I get mad at you for everything that ever happens.
That's true.
I always curse your name to the skies when something happens to me. Sausalito!
Who put this damn ottoman here? Yeah. Can we talk about Marvel more? Did you watch What
Always. If? I watched breakdowns on the last 2, but I haven't officially watched them. Well, I haven't watched this week's, but I watched a breakdown on the last week's. But I haven't officially watched it.
Why? Watch it. The last week, the Doctor Strange one is good.
No, it just hasn't happened, man. It hasn't come up organically. I'm waiting for a signal from the signs. I'm waiting for a text message. I've been sitting by the phone waiting on a phone call.
That's why all those glasses of water are around your room.
Swing away. Oh, God.
Yeah, well, this last one is not great. The Marvel Zombies ones. I would just highly recommend reading the Marvel Zombies comic.
I know it's one of your favorite Marvel graphic novels, too.
Yeah. The graphic novel is so good. $10 a month, you can download Marvel's Unlimited app, or just pay for it one time and see if you like it. Every single Marvel comic's on there within the last 3 months, up to the last 3 months. So check out Marvel Zombies and check out Star Wars because it's on there too.
Or instead of paying for it, pay for someone else to have it so Sauce can stop paying for his and I never have to pay for mine. It's what someone else would do for me. It's not what I would do for anyone, but it's what someone else might do for another person.
So, are you gonna give me my Spider-Man games back, or?
Yeah, they're here whenever you want them, man. They're here whenever I see you in person, and also have them on my person. Unless you want me to do a drive-by with them. Bow, 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 bow.
Speaking of considering murder, why don't you tell us about Only Murders in the Building?
Solid Segui, my friend. Solid Segui. So, I don't know if you
A
have...
segue only works if you identify it and talk about it.
That's what I was told at the Academy of Segways, where I went. It's not a made-up place. It's in Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is not where this show takes place. Another segue.
Was it? Because
if you have Hulu or any sort of platform associated with Hulu, you have probably been bombarded with trailers and advertisements for a new television show from Hulu, a new original show starring Steve Martin, Martin Short, and also Selena Gomez, called Only Murders in the Building. It's a crime murder show, which isn't really in my wheelhouse, but I am a big Steve Martin and Martin Short fan. I've seen most of their projects. I spent way too much money to see them live on that last tour they went on. And they're usually fantastic. So I definitely had to check this show out once I got the chance to sit down and watch it. I believe we have about 4 episodes out so far. The show starts off with there are three kind of very different characters all living in the same building in New York that's got some name like buildings in New York do. They all have names for some reason. This is the aristocrat. Blah, blah, blah. Welcome to the Waldorf. Can I get your coat? I don't get that. Where I live, we only have a few buildings that are named, and they're like old as shit. So other than that, it's like whatever company owns the building, that's the name of the building. Here's the Fifth Third building, because Fifth Third has a sign on it.
Don't you dare talk about the Huntington Center that way.
I grew up in the Huntington Center. Back before when it was just the Hunt Center. We didn't have the Ington yet. But anyways, so yeah, it's a crime, murder, mystery television show. It centers around these 3 characters living in this building, and then there's a murder that happens in their building. And Is
there mayhem?
There is no mayhem. There's just some murder and intrigue. So they on the night of the murder, they all also find out they are fans of murder, mystery, crime podcasts together, like in the same moment. So as 3 random strangers do, they decide to further investigate the murder that happened in their building in order to create their own podcast about murders and solve their own problems by creating a successful murder podcast. Which is how I'm now assuming all murder podcasts start. You randomly stumble on a murder and just think, I should start recording and seeing what comes up. Everyone's a fucking detective out here. We all got iPhones. We're all detectives if we want to be, which is the premise of this show. Anyways, it's actually pretty good so far. You're getting some pretty solid performances from the 3 main cast members, along with some other cast members that have shown up. Sting has been in a few episodes so far. Trying to think some other actors that I recognize. Nathan Lane.
I love Nathan Lane.
Yeah, I hear he's a guy. I like him as an actor. I don't know him as a person. I've just heard things. You know, everybody hears things. We all heard things about Steve from Blue's Clues, and then he put out like the most heartfelt video in the world the other day on social media.
Whoa! Wait a minute. I just realized what you're saying. Did Nathan Lane do some problematic things?
I don't know if publicly he's ever done problematic things, but I've met people who have met him personally and heard things.
And then I saw that Blue's Clues video that was like extremely emotional, but I had no idea it was prefaced with like he did something apparently.
No.
What you're saying?
When he left Blue's Clues, there were so many rumors that went out about all these crazy things that happened to him. He died. He did a bunch of cocaine and killed somebody. All this other shit. He went to college, guys. He decided to leave a television show for children and go to college, where he was probably being exploited as a TV show actor for kids. And he went to college, and he's achieved all these things he wanted to achieve, and has become a pretty good person, and then just put out this crazy heartfelt video that everybody who was growing up in the late 80s, early to mid and late 90s has like cried over at least once so far. Because sometimes you just need Steve from Blue's Clues to tell you he's still here for you. Sometimes you need that. You don't know why you need that, but you need that. Both of us were probably too old for Blue's Clues. I remember babysitting kids with Blue's Clues.
I remember like singing the Blue's Clues theme song in grade school.
Yeah, but like ironically, not because you were like, I gotta help Blue find these fucking clues, or else shit's going down.
I had nieces, and I would watch it with them.
That makes all the sense.
It got to me. He got me.
He got me. I shed 2 tears from the same eye.
I was like, I am doing good, Steve. Thank you.
I'm also doing okay. And then there are others who are like, we're not okay, but we want to be, Steve. We want to be. We think we can do it. Thanks for believing in us.
It's what everybody needed.
It's what a lot of people needed, that's for sure. But back to only Murders in the Building. So I'm 4 episodes in, which is caught up to what they have out currently. Pleasantly surprised by the entire show. I just think that there's probably people who enjoy murder mystery a little bit more than me that might latch onto it a little bit more than I do. Definitely just staying in it mostly because of my love for Steve Martin and Martin Short. And then there's Selena Gomez as well. She does fine over there. And she's got fans, probably. I don't know them. But they were the kids in class I didn't talk to. Anyways, so I personally, I could really only give the show probably about a 3, possibly descending, because it is really good. But for me personally, I don't know why people are so obsessed with murders. Stop it. Well, do you want to know like how to get away with murder? Is that the goal? Like, what do you want to understand why somebody got to the point where they could murder someone? Because you're like, I think I've gotten to that point with my boss or boyfriend or neighbor. I think I've gotten to that point where I could murder them. Maybe. Is that like what it is? I just don't get the fascination with murder and crime.
That's interesting because I've never thought about it that way. Like, could I get to the point where I would murder this person? But I'd be lying if I hadn't thought. I've seen enough TV and movies to think I probably could get away with a murder.
No, you couldn't.
That's always the conclusion. But I'm saying you think about it. You think like
about it. I
could get away with it.
The most like dastardly thoughts like that I have are like, I could usually sneak this Hershey bar out of the gas station without paying for it. Probably. That's about as dastardly as things get around this brain.
Used to.
Yeah, back when I slicked my hair back and had sloppy steaks on Wednesdays. They can't stop me from ordering water and a steak.
You used to be a piece of shit.
But yeah, so it's not that I don't think it's worth checking out because there's very talented people involved and it seems really well written and really well done. I just think you have to be more into crime and murder than I am. I'd rather things sing and dance and dance around in pants. It's just, it's more of a genre thing for me personally.
But how is the comedy? Like, it doesn't sound like it's strong enough to get you over the fact that you don't care about the genre.
Oh, the comedy timing is good and present. Because it's all about timing. I'm going to cough a whole bunch over this part, so you have to edit it. I could say something racist, like Nazis. I don't know. That's not racist enough. But yeah, I mean, it is funny. There are some good performances from the actors I've seen so far. I haven't been, like, outrageously laughing at it. But, I mean, the comedy is definitely built into the characters more than it is the like outwardly slapstick things that are happening, because that's not really what's going on in the show. But I mean, there's been lots of twists and learning about characters and their own lies and deceptions going on. So I imagine all the stuff you want from a good murder mystery is there. Again, it's just not not my cup of Gatorade, because I don't drink tea or Gatorade.
You don't drink Gatorade?
No, never did. I mean, I have.
Powerade guy?
It's not my thing. No, I'm just not an energy drink guy. I'd rather drink water or soda pop
Gatorade is...
or beer.
Anyway,
or gin.
I'm not a big...
Or gin.
Oh,
or wine, but gin.
I honestly am not a big Martin Short fan, so I wouldn't be interested to check it out.
That's because you don't get it. You don't get it. You never Clifford the Big Red Dog. You never Clifford. You never Clifford, man. You never did it. Not the Big Red Dog, the other Clifford. The one that he did, which is not the Big Red Dog.
Am I supposed to understand these references?
No, no one does. No one ever will. I'm in a space of my own. I'm in a glass case of emotion.
Were you not making a Martin Short reference?
Yeah, but then I screwed it up myself by saying the Big Red Dog.
Good.
You never amigoed. You only two amigoed.
Never.
Just Chevy Chase and Steve Martin.
Yeah, I can't think of anything that Martin Short's done that I've liked.
Jiminy Glick, bro.
No, did not like that.
I know. Not a fan. It sounds like something you would hate.
I find it hard to believe other people liked it.
Oh, I'll just see myself out then.
I'm not gonna get into that. I mean, I like Steve Martin, but I don't know. He was big before my time. I know you like him a lot, but
man, The Jerk is still one of my favorite movies I've ever seen. I love that movie.
Yeah, I saw it. It's funny, but I don't know. Am I the problem?
And Bowfinger with him and Eddie Murphy, like, oh my goodness, what a good movie! What an underrated good movie.
It sounds like I just didn't have enough exposure to him when I was younger. Maybe.
He never exposed himself to you. I get that.
That's a good note to end that on.
Another segue? Boo-doo-doo-doo.
All right, I got some reviews, kinda. They're going to be quick because we don't have a lot of time left. I did want to mention, though, I've been playing video games, but I haven't found anything that has made me want to finish it. Like I didn't rent it. I bought Death's Door on Xbox, and I got a lot of really good reviews, and I wanted to get through it. But it's really hard. You die a lot, and I haven't been motivated enough to try to finish it. I also downloaded The Ascent, which we were really excited about. Also very difficult and glitched on me a couple times to the point where I wasn't motivated enough to finish it. Although, from what I played so far, it was like the cyberpunk game we should have gotten. But the setting and the story were very cyberpunky and good. The gameplay is a twin-stick shooter, though, so it's not like... It wasn't enough to get me to jump back in. I don't know. I even had to try lowering the difficulty. It's still I don't know if it's the gameplay itself or... I don't think it's me. I'm usually pretty good at games, but I haven't gone back to it. So instead, I want to talk about What We Do in the Shadows, Season 3. You haven't watched all of Season 1 or none of Season 2?
I've watched the movie and 2 episodes of the first season. Maybe 3 episodes of the first season.
Man, for being as big of a fan as Matt Berry as you are, and Taika, I'm very shocked you haven't watched this yet.
Yeah, and from what I've seen, he's not even my favorite character on the show. The energy vampire, from the guy from The Office.
Colin
by
Robinson.
Far the funniest thing I've seen in the show so far.
Yeah, I would say that's right. He is hysterical, but they're all great. The way that Nandor talks, join me and I will enter my dark back. I don't know. The way he talks is so funny. Plus, Matt Berry, he just nails every line. He's like the Alan Rickman of comedy. He's Jackie Daytona from Arizona. Every line he delivers is like that. But the show's hilarious. It's great. Season 1 is good. Season 2 is just as good. And we're 2 episodes into Season 3. And it is as hysterical as the other ones. Overall, it's just serialized comedy. There's not this big overall branching narrative through every episode. I mean, it's no Office Season 2, which is the pinnacle of comedy, right? I probably wouldn't even call it like the writing is genius as something like Parks and Rec, Office, Community, but it's just pure comedy. Even something like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Each episode usually has some sort of point to make, or whatever theme they're like trying to tackle or address that week. It like resonates more through the comedy and makes it better. What We Do in the Shadows is just straight humor, but it's good humor. It's hilarious. It's adult humor. So if you don't like a lot of blue humor, you're not going to enjoy it. But I enjoy the acting. All the actors crush it. Anytime they have a special guest, the episode with Mark Hamill is the best episode by far. And I want you to just watch at least that episode and see if that doesn't make you want to watch the rest. It's so good. That one episode is for sure the best. But yes, season 3's going great as well. They've upped the ante to where the characters are in the grand scheme of things, which just gives more fuel for comedy. It's a show about vampires who are idiots and an energy vampire, and they're familiar. It's great. Taika stars in the first episode of season 3, and so it's his baby because he made the movie and he's in the movie, the original, and he's taking great care of his property. So if you're looking for a comedy to watch, check out What We Do in the Shadows on Hulu. It's because of everything I just said, I am going to give it a 3 out of 5. If you're not already watching it, nothing's changed to make you really want to watch it, other than me specifically telling you, because I know this is what you like. Matt Berry is so fucking funny.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you why I haven't gotten into it. It's just one of those shows that I just haven't picked up yet. I mean, definitely probably part of it is it's technically on cable with it being an FX production. I know you can find it on Hulu, but I mean, honestly, at this point, the main reason I still have Hulu is because it's bundled with Disney Plus.
Well, you still get episodes the next day, so I mean, that's just as good.
Yeah, I get that. I just Hulu is not a streaming service I load up all that often. It's probably my third or fourth choice most of the time.
Same.
Agreed.
I'll
go to YouTube before I go to Hulu.
I agree. There's not a lot of shows on Hulu worth me personally feel that way, but that is one of them. That and It's Always Sunny. That's what I go to Hulu for, because Seinfeld's going to be on Netflix soon, so I'm going to start a Seinfeld run once it comes to Netflix. I actually just started a run I gave up on my Simpsons run, and I started a run of Archer, because I only think I watched up till season 5 or 6, and they're on season 12 now.
That's where I stopped too. The one that it's like Magnum PI. I don't know what season that is. That's the one.
Yeah, I think that's 6.
Yeah, I think it's 5 or 6.
But apparently there's 12 now. So I know those shows always had really good humor, although going back and watching episode 1, it's very problematic. It's very very homophobic. So I'm powering through that to get to the seasons I haven't seen yet. But there's still a lot of good humor in there. Plus, H. John Benjamin is like an amazing voice actor. Plus, the whole cast is amazing. But that's what I'm doing. But I also wanted to keep you in touch with, or let the folks out there know, our 30 loyal listeners know, that Brooklyn Nine-Nine is back on. I think they're about 6 or 7 episodes in. No, they're 8 episodes in, and there's only 2 more left. They've been releasing them like 2 at a time. Like, they're really powering them out to get this and this is the final season, but to get it over with. Have you watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I watched the first season when they moved over to NBC, NBC, right? And I just, it didn't feel the same to me. Like, it just, I think I've maybe caught an episode here or there of the last 2 seasons or so, but I mean, I think that they're powering through it right now, because it's got to be a hard show to make right now about feel-good police stories.
Yeah. And they address that
in a world that doesn't care for that right now.
Literally one of the main characters quits the police force because they're still in the show, and they become like a private eye, but like one of the main characters quits because of everything going on right now, like politically in the world. And they do try to address a lot of those issues, especially like a lot of the officers or some of the officers being like black police officers. I read a lot of people didn't like what they did. I thought it was fine, but I'm not a African American, so I have no place in the discussion really.
Yeah,
But
but it's the idea of like, is it better to address the problem head on and like kind of like quaff around it, or is it better to try to exist in a universe that it doesn't exist, the problem, and just keep doing the winning formula that kept them going, brought them back from cancellation? So that's the real thought process behind dealing with that social issue on a humor
yeah,
television show. Like, is it the right place to do that?
right. It's a comedy TV show. I think they did what they could and the right thing, but who's to say what that is? I'm not trying to get into all that right now. My point is, if you like where the characters are, who the characters are, and the type of humor that the show's been doing, it's more of the same. I'm trying to remember which season exactly, but season 5 really hits its stride. And then they got kinda canceled. Season 6 and 7 is still good, but like in the middle there is some amazing writing. The jokes that they have, the episode where they go to, you haven't seen, maybe you've seen it, the one where they go to the Jake and Amy go on vacation to the resort, and Captain Holt's
And
there.
the captain's there after getting
Yeah.
fired or whatever, or not getting the promotion or something.
That
It's a good
episode is
episode.
so funny. Like the Captain Holt is one of like the best characters on TV. Like I love that character, and Andy Samberg's great. The whole cast is amazing. You got Terry Crews and Joe Latrulio. His Detective Boyle is always amazing every episode. If you need a good comedy to watch, I would recommend probably What We Do in the Shadows first because it's short. Each season's only 10 episodes, and each episode's under a half hour. Because Brooklyn Nine-Nine has way more episodes, and they're on their last season right now. I still would say, if you've never seen either show, What We Do in the Shadows is a show about stupid vampires, and it's just mostly stupid humor, but hilarious. I would put Brooklyn Nine-Nine probably more at the top of your list if you're looking for a new show to watch, because especially season like 2 or 3 to 6 is some amazing writing and just fully fleshed out, developed characters that have hit their stride and great actors. I really, really like that show, but it hasn't done anything to grow, I think. Like, it hasn't raised the stakes enough. Obviously, I mean, it got kind of soft canceled, right? Like, not
I
enough people
mean,
were enjoying it.
I would say Andy Samberg's character shows a lot of growth throughout the entirety of the show, but he might be the only one as far as full character development goes. But the cold open in season 5 with the lineup and the Backstreet Boys might be one of the funniest cold opens of a TV show. It might be. It's up there. It was absolutely hysterical.
It's for sure up there. And his relationship with Trudy Judy is amazing.
Yeah. Yes, I agree.
But yeah, the show is worth watching, definitely. But if you haven't been watching it, I still say give it another shot. I think it's more, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say palatable, but it's easier to digest and more welcoming than something like What We Do in the Shadows. Like, my wife would watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. She won't watch What We Do in the Shadows,
Sure.
if that makes sense.
Well, yeah,
Because she thinks it's stupid.
more grounded in reality. You're not
Yeah.
getting into a niche environment with werewolves and vampires.
Which she loves.
There's no might fight or fantasy aspect
She,
to it.
she doesn't like that style of comedy, is what it is.
Sure.
But Brooklyn Nine-Nine's a Greg Sher show, who also helped make Office, Parks and Rec, Good Place, another fantastic show that got canceled too early. But yeah, I'm going to give season 8 also A 3, but leaning more towards 4, so a 3.5.
A 3 ascending is what I've started to do now. Is either give him ascending or descending.
I like that. It's
like
a 3 ascending.
We'll put it at you want to put it at a 3, but if you like it, it's obviously gonna rise up, just like Hamilton will rise up. That's all I got.
I thought you were gonna keep going.
I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm rising up. I think Hamilton's overrated. We both know this.
Oh God! Don't tell Homer.
There's a lot of things I don't tell Homer. Oh shit! He's gonna hear there's things I don't tell him. He's gonna ask about him now, and I'm such a terrible liar.
I don't think he's gonna hear it because I'm pretty sure he does not listen to the show.
He makes recommendations to us.
I don't listen to the show, but that's because I edit it. That's enough.
So you've listened to it enough. Hold up. For the remix, Nah, I just have a couple of things I think are worth putting on your radar. The first one being Sauce. Are you aware of one of the greatest bands of all time is releasing an album for the first time in 40 years? You weren't aware, I'm guessing? You're not? The greatest bands? It's ABBA, Frank. It's ABBA. It's not one of the greatest bands of all time, but it is still a very good one. ABBA is putting out their first album in 40 years, drops in November. Definitely should be on your radar for ABBA to have new music out, because you may not like ABBA all that much, but when Dancing Queen comes on, you become one. Just that, a dancing queen. You're young and free and only 17 when that song comes on. I'm more of a Fernando guy myself.
Mamma Mia was one of the first musicals I listened to, all right? Don't get me started about ABBA.
I like ABBA's music. I hate the musical Mamma Mia.
I don't care. Those songs are burnt into my brain.
Perfect. So then you should know that November 5th, a brand new album from ABBA drops. I believe you could listen to 2 songs from it if you go on your whatever streaming platform you use.
I'm sure
I listened to one of them. I can't tell you if it was any good because I was working, and I only half listened to it. But that's something worth putting on your radar. There was probably another thing, but I already forgot it.
Nice.
There's something has fallen off my radar, and eventually it will be back on once I fix this Sonar Radar program app that I have on my phone.
You sunk my battleship.
Anyways, that's all the time we have for you on TimeSync. Make sure to check out our social media links at timesyncpod.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitter. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. You can read it? No, I was just clearing my throat. You're a godforsaken prince. Are you ready? TimeSync is the weekly podcast.
Yeah, do a voice. It's fine. Do a voice. Do a French. No, that's problematic.
TimeSync is the weekly podcast to let you know what's worth sinking your time into. Head to timesyncpod.com for more information like rating scale, show notes, social media, videos, and more.
TimeSync is the weekly podcast to let you know what's worth sinking your time into. Bounty hunting is a complicated profession.
Time Sync is the weekly podcast to let you know what's worth sinking your time into. Head to timesyncpod.com for more information, like rating scales, show notes, social media, videos, and more.